Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Slipways, where today we're starting on the last chapter of the campaign. So apparently I had been playing through the campaign on challenging. We're going to go ahead and do that for these last 5 missions. As you might guess from its position on the difficulty level bar, it's the midpoint between reasonable and tough. You get the same amount of starting money as tough, you get the same civil unrest level as reasonable, you get a base planet income per export that is directly between the two of them. Planet distribution is tricky. We're going to play through the last 5 missions of the campaign here so that we know what we're getting into, and then we're going to take it up to tough, where, as you can see, I have not done any of the campaign stuff. So, if you weren't around for the previous series, you know, the plot line is not like critically important here, but the basic idea is it seems like heavy use of the Slipways technology is perhaps unmaking the fabric of space and time. It's starting to become a real problem. The void is encroaching, etc. And sadly, no agreement could be reached in the face of the looming crisis. As space itself breaks down, each race strives to find its own solution. Let's see. Let's just go one at a time here. Let's start with the Bakar. In one of the last livable sectors remaining, the Bakar attempt to preserve their civilization at all costs. The rift in this sector is held in check by a space-time seal. Keep the seal working long enough to complete a rift wall around all your planets and prove that the Bakar can thrive no matter what. And I guess, fuck everybody else, is the way that this is going. I mean, all right, we have 28 years to get this done. We've got to close a full rift wall loop around all of our planets with at least 15 successful planets inside of it. There is a space-time seal, but it has a limited lifetime, and once it's overloaded, the sector will quickly destabilize. The rift wall must completely enclose your planets and structures with nothing left on the outside. We can build a power transmitter, which will increase the longevity of the seal by 30 months. Has to be powered by a successful planet. Each new transmitter costs more than the previous, and the cost increases even further with distance from the seal. Also, advanced pylons. We have more powerful versions of the rift wall pylons. So in the previous missions, we had been able to construct pylons that would create an energy wall between them that would hold the rift on one side, as you might have imagined from the word rift wall. So each advanced pylon requires a planet to support it, with upkeep dependent on the planet's level. Each rift wall formed between the pylons reduces the pressure on the seal, adding 6 months to its longevity. Once a pylon receives energy, the walls connected to it are strengthened, adding another 4 months per wall. Powered pylons do not require upkeep, so generating power seems really important here. In addition, we will score objective mission points here based on the number of successful planets inside the rift wall and how many rift walls are strengthened with energy. So again, produce lots of energy, as always. Our council, obviously, is the Bakar, and we get to pick any 2 of their usual 5 perks, and I guess we just have all of the Bakar technologies available, which is cool. I feel like Energy Specialist is going to be very good here, right? Explorers is a good early income thing. Obviously, it's a lot more powerful if you have the quantum sensor boost, that technology that I like so much, because you are getting an escalating amount of money per planet discovered in a single action. More asteroids and better value from asteroids. It is possible to establish mines on some percentage of 80%, in fact. I love it when the numbers are right in the thing. 80% of all of the planets that would otherwise be useless. This, I think, is a very strong choice. The question is, do I think we're going to run out of money? Because we could definitely skip geology to instead grab, like, miners or something. Or, honestly, even taking miners and geology together is probably a pretty good way to boost cash. We're going to try it like this. We had that game on tough, where the economic circumstances were even more difficult than they're going to be here, and we managed there, and I'm going to let that lead me into disaster, I guess. And we get to borrow 2 technologies. Okay. A randomized selection here. So, We do not have access to the sensor tech. Bummer. So, orbital lab project that allows us to convert population into science. Quantum computers that improve laboratories. The Skill Up facility, which improves the planet's production by 1 unit of each project, except for people and the special resources like energy, which is the one that we'd really want it to be. I am probably going to take wave augmentation. We so often have a lot of problems with slipways being just barely not long enough to do a thing, right? We see that all the time. Machine interfacing just improves trade income. Hyperdense architecture, allowing a planet to receive a second unit of a resource from the same source, could actually boost the number of successful planets that we get, but most planets need a couple of different things to become successful. I think it's much more likely that hyperdense architecture is going to help you move stuff from successful to prosperous, rather than moving it to successful in the first place. So, I don't know. Obviously, having prosperous worlds is still a good thing here, but let's keep looking. Turn a structure that can turn biomass or water into food. The ability to remove the need for goods. I do love Genesis cells. Adds 1 unit of biomass on any planet producing water, 1 unit of water on any planet producing biomass. And if a planet is producing both, it does get both. It can be very, very powerful. This rules. It's an action that lets you turn a planet or an asteroid into a slip relay, even if you don't yet have the slip relay tech. It's very, very good. But I'm looking at this, I think. I like extreme miniaturization a lot here. So, extreme miniaturization lets you build a microforge structure which can turn minerals into chips, like it says. What it doesn't make clear here is that there is another, you can see it says leads to upgrades universal miniaturization. There's another tech that branches off of this that, once researched, allows the microforge to also produce robots and goods by taking in minerals. Being able to build our own sources of goods is a very powerful thing, especially if we're going to have an unusual number of planets that can produce minerals. So I do feel like this is a pretty good setup. And then we have the bio extractor, as we saw before. I think I want to try it like this. We had a lot of options there for technologies that would help us with our money, and I didn't take any of them. So here's hoping. Do I have... Okay, yes, we do have a timer on the space-time seal. So only 48 months until the seal overloads at current. Once the seal overloads, the rift is going to start creeping in, right? But it's not going to, like, immediately burn us. So we probably have a little bit of time. So total scoring objectives here. Prosperity, get at least 9 planets to prosperous, and we get 5 stars. Happiness of at least 140% to get 5 stars. Could happen. 4 council tasks doesn't seem that difficult. I guess we'll see. 25 successful planets for 5 stars on this, and 100% of the rift wall strengthened with energy. Okay, I guess we'll see. Those are the goals. So let's start by revealing a heck of a lot of worlds. I can get these 5 all at once, right? Yeah, I can. I just have to... There we go. Where does it make sense to lean next? Probably, yeah, let's get this cluster. All right, so we have a lot of minerals. We don't have a lot of ways of producing food currently. A little concerned about that. Okay, there we go. That's functional. So we can do people to biomass, biomass to food, get food for Pylum 8, and then also get the minerals from Pylum 8 for Pylum 8 from here. So that should work. We do have an awful lot of like early game technologies here that we're going to just leave behind. All right. We're going to want to make sure that we really like max the hell out of our mineral laboratory, because it's going to be really easy to set up a mineral laboratory, but you know, future mineral laboratories will get a lot less value. Let's go ahead and set up our basic population thing here, and we'll see from there what else we can get done. So biomass. Biomass converts to food. Show me my council tasks. Increase production of minerals by 7 units? Absolutely. I will try very hard. Okay, we select one task at a time. Get 2 more mineral producing planets to prosperous is like a wild thing to give me the first in the first group of tasks. All right, 7 minerals. We can make 7 minerals happen. It's going to take a little while, but we can do it. Now, obviously, the bummer here is that we cannot connect to that. We might do something about this at some point, or we might just end up like... We actually have the resources necessary to just make this a people world right now. Might be worth doing. Let's do this first, though. Get ourselves a little bit of progress. And then Forge World, fingers crossed. Okay, no such luck. But obviously we can do a miniaturization thing eventually. Does that reach? It does. It's very expensive. Let me set up this other situation first. I was not thinking ahead here, and I absolutely should have been. Would have been a good idea to be. Okay, so we're 23 months from the thing. This is the transmitter. Increase the longevity of the seal by 30 months in orbit of a successful planet. This has a cost of 15, and it's not clear what the... It's not clear what the upkeep cost will be, but I bet it's not nothing. Oh, maybe. So cost increases with distance from the seal. Hold on. Do we see... Oh, yeah. There's totally a difference of $1 if we put it on the wrong side of the world. Okay, put it there. That buys you a considerable amount of time. That's actually really nice. This connection I'm way more comfortable with. Only $5. So a planet crusher or a source of minerals. Okay. We've certainly seen that before. Okay. What else do we want to know? I kind of want to know what's going on over here. Let's get some more detail around our planets. Okay. So you can pull minerals from a remnant world. We don't usually, but it might be useful in this case. Or we could do like, I'm a little torn. Because obviously I want to make this a goods world, right? If we do minerals to goods here, obviously that helps push us toward our goal and getting moving on trying to get 4 tasks done. But also, robots are broadly very useful, right? Nah, I think we're going to do it with the minerals. We need the progress. So, minerals. Minerals make goods. Goods make a successful world. And then... Oof, the next one is doubled. Okay. Well, we have that at least, though. So we don't have... Oh, wow. I was not expecting this world to be able to reach that one. But yeah, we can generate water here and then send the water there. And if I wanted to set up a mineral lab... Yeah, we could do this. Send minerals from all 3 of these worlds. I don't hate that. I think that's pretty good. And that would make this world successful as well, with the minerals out and the water in. So we definitely have plans here. Unusually, I am not allowed to just scrap this one for parts. Generally, you can scrap the stations for parts. That would be really nice to be able to do here. All right, I think let's go for it. Setting up the lab is high value. This is going to jump us into the next empire size, which is going to hurt our income. And then having to pay upkeep for the lab as well. It's like pretty harsh. We might be better off... Here, let's make this expansion happen. This is going to hurt a little bit, but also it's going to be good for us in the long run. So that would be 17. We would have to break a lot of rocks. Ugh, this actually really sucks. All right. We'll colonize this one first instead because we can at least make some money on that. But we can't build the lab. Or rather, we can build the lab, but it would be the last thing that we do for the year. Let me... Ooh, I was really hoping we could get more data than this with this probe. We're still at 44. That's not horrible. So one thing we could do is we could go ahead and create the Gaia world here, and then we could send probes off of the Gaia world for the rest of the year. That's a thing we would actually be able to afford to make some movement on. Because, you know, we still need a lot of information. Okay, that's inconvenient. Let's do one more probe. Where does it make sense to do one more probe? I guess I do want to see what these are. With the people world right there. You know, if one of them had been a station or something, it could have been very meaningful. All right, that's going to eat a ton of our money. That's the whole year's budget. Okay, hold on. I think we got to set the lab up. We have to. And I hate doing it all the way out here, but this is the only way we get to feed all 3 worlds to it. Oops, I right-clicked. Oh. Oh, well, it's not a problem in the long run, though. Shoot, it does change things right now, though, doesn't it? Because I spent the last point of population off of this world, so we don't have people for the thing anymore. Shoot. And like I say, it's not a huge problem in the long run because eventually we'll be able to get goods to this world, which will cause it to produce more population. But it does reduce the utility of that that lab in the right now, certainly. So what is of value to do then? What I need more than anything is data. I need to know more about the worlds that are around. I also need the asteroids to be closer to us. We have $47. We had to make it through the year on 47 credits. I always say dollars because I am I'm so American that the word dollar just means money to me, but gosh, we sure do get a lot of America-centrism in our media already, don't we? Might be a good habit to train myself out of. All right, is there anything down here? I'm trying to look ahead for how we want to, what else we could do that would generate reasonable income. So we could make this a people world. Right? We have a source of water already. Well, if I do that, I can't send the water from here. I was just thinking, since we could do a water trade here. We could go... apparently, these 2 planets can reach each other because of the bonus range on the Slipways, probably. So we could go robots to food here, send the goods over there, and then we have population that can go to the lab, but downside, obviously, is that it's no longer possible for us to rush food or rush water to this world. So we lose a successful. But on the whole, it's pretty good, I think. I think I am going to do it. Well, we're going to do the parts of it that we can do. All right, so this happens. We send the food. We send the goods. We're just generating income here, making as many connections as we can afford to make. And then the lab would be too expensive to set up at the end of the year, which is a shame. I could do this, though. Yeah, let's do this. And then we'll spend the last month of the year setting up the lab. And maybe I put it in I guess I have to put it in a position where it can't reach these population. But I can still put it in a position where it can be fed by all the mineral planets. I'm going to try to shorten the routes here as much as we can, because obviously we're paying for each unit of space. Okay. There we go. All right. We have some science income. 4206. That's not like a terrible time to have your science income set up. Does this end up needing... Oh, the seal is about to break. Shoot. 30, right? Okay. We have a year left. So it can just be the first thing we do at the beginning of the next year is put a booster here. I guess that doesn't change any of my plays. It just panicked me real good, as it is designed to. Okay, this ends up needing minerals and then biomass. So once we feed this world some minerals, well, we won't be able to do biomass from here if we send people from this world to shoot. A problem. We could set up a biomass lab down here too, I am noticing. Let me do a little bit of a look around. What I'm looking for here is like asteroids and stuff. Okay. Well, we got an asteroid. I'm going to go ahead and pop this as our last action of the year, during which we are broke. We are going to go ahead and construct a power transmitter. 35 is the best we're going to get, right? Yeah. Okay. Buys us a little bit of time. Mines on mineral planets. This will immediately finish our task and increase our total income significantly because we actually have a lot of minerals going out already. So let's take deep drilling. I actually think that's really good for us. Discover 15 more planets. Okay, so these are going to be... We're going to have to do all of this eventually. Well, this we can work toward. That's a pretty significant amount of money. All right. Yeah, I don't mind that at all, honestly. So that's all the money for the year. Is that what we want to do? Feels expensive. So how much is the lab? It's 5 per turn, or 5 per year. So yeah, I mean, that's significant, right? Okay, how do we progress from here? There is, I think, a vital question about whether it makes sense to try to have a people world somewhere else around here and use that for the to send people here so that we can still send this biomass across. And if we did do that, if we did like this, we could send food down, biomass down. The people coming back up would flip this planet to successful, generating a second point of biomass, which could then be sent to here. And then we need food for this planet somehow, and we have robots there. So we could just do robots to food, make this a food world. But also, it's potentially the case that there's, food going on around here. There could be another way, right? I think I'm going to pursue this. We're going to continue to generate prosperity in a sort of generalized way here. Oh, that doesn't actually reach. Shoot. Yeah, there's maximum range, huh? Oh, right. We don't have wave augmentation, which for some reason I was thinking we had wave augmentation already. I was like, wait a minute. 20 units shouldn't be the end of our range. But yeah, that's not a perk. That's something you have to put science into. This allows me to build stuff on ice balls. I think we're not going to take this. I think there is a question as to whether solar superconductors is a thing we want. Given that we are going to have I have every intention of taking miniaturization, we probably will have access to chips if we want them. Yeah, I think we'll probably skip this. I think we have other things that we want to be taking. So this connection can work eventually, and I guess there's just a question here of like, am I willing to settle this now so that I can scan more efficiently? And I think the answer is yes. We have a plan. It will work out. So let's go ahead and do this. We're also going to do that. Sorry, we'll do that in a moment here. I'm going to generate $6. Then we'll do that. And here's a source of food that we could set up right now. And probably should. This will want chips eventually, but hey, like what else is new? And then we're quite out of money in a pretty serious way that I cannot overcome. We have $4 left and no options. So we're going to send out one probe and then kill the year, I think. Minerals chips doesn't do anything right here. We'll just leave this because we don't have a sense of what we want from it yet. So like, where is the probe? Is it down here? That feels... yeah, I guess so. Okay, I was going to say, if that's an asteroid, it'll give us some more money to work with. We are going to inhabit this. So it's like, burn this now for $6 and then use that $6 to send out 2 more probes. And that's how we fill out the rest of the year. Or we wait, settle this world like we're about to, and then get $12 from this asteroid instead. And it's not time efficient, but I do think it's the better overall play. So we're doing this one. Okay. And when these can connect eventually, it will be helpful, but we don't have to worry about it right now. Let's go ahead and burn this because we know we're going to need it. Our income's actually gotten pretty solid. And I am debating. Geothermals does seem pretty good. We're going to need energy. But I wonder if we want to save and try to get wave augmentation or perhaps geoharvesting first. We are having a little bit of money problems. Obviously, geoharvesting would be tremendously helpful. Did the cost of these... Okay, it went up by 15. It did not double again. So that's good to know. I'll tell you right now, I'm having a hard time imagining how we build an advanced pylon and actually manage to feed energy to every... Like, build a wall of advanced pylons and then feed energy to every segment of the wall. That seems unlikely. Okay, so that's only 23. That connection totally can work. If we got chips to this world, it would produce a 3rd point of goods, and with the extra distance on the Slipways, we could... This goods world can feed this world. So that's good to know for the sort of distant future. I might be saving to take wave augmentation next. It would be really nice if we could figure out a way to gain a little bit of science so that we can get it next year instead of having to wait. How would we reasonably expand up here? We have so little information. We might have to just send out kind of a bad probe here. Let's see what those are. A forge world, you say? 27 is just out of range, right? With the... It's 30%? Yeah. With the 30%, what I assume, if the cost scales linearly, which I don't know for sure that it does, but probably 26 is the new range limit, right? So this could never produce the goods that we need. So I was thinking ahead about what if we geo-harvested the swamp world. If we made this a Gaia world, sending the water down here would obviously be pretty good. And if we get a factory up to produce goods for this world, then this world will have the point of population necessary to connect here. And I think I'm going to just do that right now, first of all, to get the extra income going, but secondly, so we can send a better probe further up here and get a little bit of vision. Interesting. We have a year left on the seal. I may as well go ahead and repower it. We're definitely not ready to break it. So that's 55. That's 51. That'll do. Buy me a little bit more time. This is an interesting challenge. I'm digging this so far. And we are still one science short of the thing. Well, this definitely won't be able to reach that yet. Well, actually it says 25. Keep in mind, these, the numbers that we're seeing here are base values. At some point, and it has happened in every previous game, but I haven't made a note of it. At some point, we're going to start experiencing slipstream overload. Once there are too many slipstreams in an area, or too many slipways in a region of space, the cost, there's some flavor explanation, but the mechanical thing is the cost to establish each unit of distance of slipways goes up. Which you did, you know, if your eyes were sharp on the math, you could have caught that happening in the last two videos. But that's the thing we'll have to worry about eventually, and once that kicks in, it'll no longer be as safe to judge the distance of a slipway by its cost. This works right now, though, while we're at base values. This dead area of space right here is a real problem. It's very awkward. So I would really love to connect to another forebear ruin. It would make my life a lot easier if we could connect to a forebear ruin. But we're having a real hard time finding a new one, and also a really hard time putting together the tech necessary to generate the goods to allow this to have population so it can send population here. Yeah, we're definitely going to want both mass reactors and extreme miniaturization. And I think it's miniaturization first, but we'll need them both eventually. Once we have mass reactors, it's going to be way easier to actually start thinking about building the rift wall. Obviously, the rift wall is going to be problematic if we keep expanding outward, though. I need to make sure I'm filling in these areas and making the best possible use of these planets. As for what is the best possible use of these planets, I don't actually know. And again, these like big dead areas are very problematic. Okay, we can make this a Gaia world. Send the water over here and then do a biomass lab right here. Send biomass from two different worlds and maybe another point of population in as well. If I do that, I'm cutting this world off from ever sending goods to that world, which is perhaps dangerous. But we do need to, we do need more labs. So these can both be Gaia worlds. They can send their biomass to the lab. And if we do like population from here to there, population from here to there, send biomass in, then we don't have to block this route, and this world's biomass just never gets used. Oh, I didn't even realize we could have had that up the whole time. That's just extra money that I was looking right past. I suppose it is also worth noting the next world is going to bump us up a size category, which is bad. I do think we need to get that lab established, though. These worlds both want biomass, too, so we're going to have to be very careful how we connect this. All right, let me try something. Let me try setting this up. So we connect you here. We drag the biomass in now, because otherwise the worlds are going to eat the biomass immediately. We do this. We send the biomass in. We send this to here, this to here, this to there. That's a functional lab. We take our extra wave augmentation. And I guess we now have a question. Do I want to just give up on sending this goods here? Because if we do that, we can send this point of biomass over to there, which gets this world to 5 imports and exports. And we can connect population from here to this world, which will also send the water back, which makes this world successful. It feels like we should probably just do that, right? We'll figure out some other way of getting goods here, or maybe we won't. Maybe we never will. But the value of running Slipways across this space is too great, I think. So let's go ahead and do that. And also this. Yeah, that's pretty great. Now, this world just needs to have trade with one more successful neighbor to be prosperous, actually. This world is one neighbor and one water export away from prosperous. This world is one successful neighbor away from prosperous. So yeah, that's interesting. And we almost doubled our science income. We literally did double our science income. That's right, it was 5 before. Okay, yeah, that feels like it was pretty great. Okay, what else are we doing? We still have to discover planets, and when we discover 5 more planets, we are going to get very paid. That is an important thing to remember. You are inconvenient. However, we could do a people world right here, make this a Gaia world, send food from here. So the water's coming into there. We could send a point of population to this thing. We could send a point of population to that thing. And it's kind of like it's inside of the design of our border already. It doesn't really add a lot to the fence distances. So let's see what this is first and foremost. Kind of crummy is the answer. Well, I mean, like, minerals are never bad for us. Can send that point of minerals over here. Let's do this. Okay, we'll deal with the seal in just a moment. Thank you. Yeah, we can deal with it with next year's budget. We don't have to stress about this right now. Am I taking geo-harvesting? Or do we just want... So the thing about taking extreme miniaturization right now is that we won't actually be able to make much use of it. Well, I mean, but next year, though. Also, we can't use it to produce goods or robots until we get another technology beyond this. We could just grab mass reactors. We could save tech. Next year, grab mass reactors. And then use the energy produced by these worlds to fill in some of our problems. That's almost certainly the right move, right? This world just sends energy instead of goods and stuff. Yeah. We're going to wait for next year to spend our science. We're going to grab mass reactors. That'll be really good. So, in the interim, this is almost certainly a world, and as such, we'll finish our goal. That rules. And actually, we can take the thing right now, then. Wait, hold on. Sorry, let me grab this. Because we're about to start increasing the production of energy by units, right? So let's go ahead and make this the next thing. Okay, this is not free to do, but it is extremely valuable. So I think we just send this energy down here. Having done that, we can connect this. Okay, wait, sorry. Let's do this first. That's kind of what I figured it was going to be. I'm going to leave it. It doesn't actually consume the population, so we can still do this. Okay, that was important to do. I was hoping it was going to be better than that. So now we want to make this a mass reactor. We want to send the energy here to replace the water need. First of all, prosperous. Secondly, now we can make this world produce energy to solve this need. That helps us flip even more stuff to prosperous. Pretty sure that's the right play. Look at that. We are fucking killing it. And also, we have plenty of money to build the thing that we desperately need to build. So this is where we put it. 75. Best we could hope for. Those are getting really fucking expensive. We probably need to start building the rift wall. So this is the worst side. If we're going to build the rift wall, it probably has to start down here. Each pylon has to be supported by a world with an upkeep level dependent on the prosperity. So, okay, it doesn't actually show us what the upkeep levels will be. That's a shame. That's information I would very much like to have at this moment. Okay. Well, we should do this, right? We should feed the minerals over to here. And also, right, that seems like a no-brainer. Then what? This world no longer has biomass remaining. It can't send its point of biomass to there. This world can produce biomass, though. We could still get this to prosperous at some point. We need a total of 9 prosperous worlds to max out. Okay, we're getting there. We're on track to maybe do something. So $24 left for the rest of the year. We do have the ability to generate a very small amount of money from asteroids. These asteroids do not connect the ways we would like. Each pylon is $10. I don't believe that these go up in price as you build more. How much time do they take? It's 1 month each. Okay. And we're making really good progress on this thing. So this world will flip to prosperous as soon as we connect these two. And we know the last task was get mineral producing worlds to prosperous, right? So we definitely want to hold off on that. But once that's available, that's going to be awesome. So what else do I need to do around here? Trying to figure out what specifically is the play for the rest of 4212. How do we make good use of the money we have left? Is it just like sending out a lot of probes? Like this one's probably worth doing. Okay. I don't feel too bad just drawing the rift wall here then. We have to have 15 successful planets inside of the rift wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 right now. So actually we're very close. We're very close. We don't have to expand too much at all. If we did minerals plus chips here, we could use the minerals to run... I don't know what we would do with these forge worlds, but we could use the minerals to do it. I guess the answer is we can make this a people world by running minerals from here to there to do robots. and then robots to make food here. Make that a people world, make that a water world, so that we get a two-way trade of water. That doesn't expand the... it expands the fence space, but it doesn't expand it by too much, because we're already having to draw a line here. We just bend it upward. The other option is that we already have... If we make this robots, and there's a food world available over here, then we can make this robots to goods, and we can have goods for our new people world, which is certainly a useful thing. We could, in theory, destroy this jungle world, or this swamp world, rather, to run... Oh, no, this world has already used its energy. Never mind, we cannot produce energy here. So that, I feel a lot better about that, but that requires us to have a food world available to run these robots to. So, what I'm going to do right now is make this a colony, and then we're going to explore from here and see if we are so lucky, is what I was about to say. Okay, I think that's the play. This is a food world. Connect. We're gonna colonize this and this. We can blow this asteroid up now for maximum value. I don't know what we're doing science-wise, but I am going to just run the rest of this, I think. Is there a reason I need to not? Is there a reason I need to start doing something else right this second? I don't think so. And this is going to create a lot of successful worlds. Well, it's going to create a lot of established worlds. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. What is the next technology we're taking? Are we grabbing geothermals? Because this next tech we take is gonna slide tier 1 out of our window. So we can still grab extreme miniaturization with our next technology if we take something else now. And the question is just, do I think this will be useful? How many lava/mineral/ice world planets are inside of the bubble? So there's a lava world here. And it would, in theory, be able to receive chips. So it could produce water for this world. Although also we could potentially get water for that world in another way. There's an ice ball here. I don't think we'd be able to get the resources to it, though. Okay. I think the answer is geothermals ends up not being very strong. So maybe we do just skip it. We go to miniaturization and then start looking at the post-miniaturization text for more stuff. The other thing we could do is we could take energy-driven industry right now. Does that do very much for us? We get an extra point of goods. There's a bunch of places where we get an extra point of population, which is maybe even counterproductive. Yeah, I don't think we want energy-driven industry right now. Another thing that I haven't talked about yet, but that is definitely interesting, is gravitic tugs. This is something we can take in the future, but it lets us literally move planets around. There can be some very serious utility. I'm gonna take miniaturization now. Let's get our options opened, and then continue on with the plan. Oh, wait, sorry. I have to establish this connection first so that the other planet doesn't steal the minerals immediately, because we do need them to go here. Yep, the chip's going there as well is good. So this planet becomes successful. This becomes our water world. I know. Okay. So, we send a single point of population out of here to anywhere. This world flips to successful immediately. And that, I think, that's gonna definitely cover the space we need. Like, this grouping is going to give us 15 successful planets, even if we're not 100% there right now. So at this point, I do think the rift wall has to start getting built, but I also think we probably have to do one more of these. So let's go ahead and do it. This world gives us 147. This world gives us 136. Okay, that'll have to do. It's very expensive. All right, let's start constructing the rift wall. So, now here's the problem. You have to draw the rift wall in such a way that the planets actually, like you can draw a straight line from one pylon to another. And that does, here, I think we have to search this actually. I need to get rid of that signal. Oh, that signal turns out to be a world. Well, shit. Here's my biggest concern right now is getting a pylon here to connect to a pylon here. I think it's not going to be possible now that I'm looking at this. I don't know if the distances work. Huh, it'll let me build it kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Requires a planet to support it. That's weird. It shouldn't let me do that. I'm not sure why we can do that. Here's a problem. This world wants people to produce minerals. If there's a source of people over here, that would be pretty cool. We do not have a source of people, though. How would I fix that? Because it would be nice. It would be nice to have a source of energy right at the border here so that we could reinforce the wall that way. We have to get to 40% to make the first star here. Is this the place where we're closest to the rift? Probably. So we kind of have to make a decision right now about whether we're trying to draw around this world and maybe also that world. Because we can set up a rift out here. Or we can set up a pylon. How far this pylon could reach to there? And then, okay, it would actually... So we can just cut that world off entirely. I think I'm going to. I don't think it makes any sense for us to try to... Ah, God, man. Having another source of... Here, let's delete both of those pylons. I'm going to do this. We're going to see if there's... Okay, if one of these was an easy people world, like an Earth-like, that we could just feed the food over and then grab the pylon, that would have made a compelling case. As it is, I think this is just... It's really awkwardly positioned. We could make this a people world, obviously, but then we're drawing a big extra, like, horn in our rift wall shape, and I don't think we can afford it. So here's that technology that lets us build other stuff from the microforge, like I was saying. Plasma containment lets us run plasma out of water, which is going to be useful in some places. But yeah, I think we have to just go ahead and rift off what we have now. So we'll build that there. We'll build... This is different than I positioned it the first time, I think. But whatever, it's still going to work. So we want to get as much distance on this as possible. I guess it doesn't really matter, though, because we're going to have to do like a sharp turnaround here anyway. Well, I'm being a little silly. I guess I should definitely include this world, right? Like, obviously. We should do that because we can... It's so completely trivial to get a point of energy here. It would also be kind of cool to spend this water, and then if we could get another point of population to this somehow, to flip it to successful so that it would produce another water. Maybe via slip relay or some shenanigans. Ah, this lets us turn random planets into forge worlds, which is fun. I don't know that it's useful to us here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna keep building the fence. I guess we should search these. Let's just make sure we know what we're doing. That's within range, too. We should, right? For sure we should. So we run this down as far as this will go. I do need to at some point actually finish this task off, I guess. And I should do it before we buy our next technology. So hold on, let's spend some money on that. Can you connect to here? You can. Cool. Oh, and the advanced pylon powers both sections of the wall that it's touching. I did not understand how that worked. Okay. So then we want to connect this one to here, which means that a fusion thing here is probably not that useful. A fusion thing built off of this world. Whatever, we'll worry about it later. Right now, what I want to do is just... I want to build the other section of wall here first. I don't know. That probably doesn't actually make a difference to how much time it added, but it was worth doing. And then we need to add one more unit of energy somewhere to flip our task so that we're on the last important bit. And it turns out I already have a reactor on every single mineral producing world in our empire. So I need one more mineral producing world. I was going to say, if this turns out to be an Earth-like, maybe we'll do a thing here. That it would be pretty bad, I think. Or we need to pick up another way of producing energy. But obviously, my hope is that we get the tech discount and then we pick up the technologies that produce energy, right? So is there a place where I could reasonably gain another one is a real question. We're nowhere near... No, we actually can reach that. That's wild, and I'll take it. Plus, it employs another body, which is good for us in terms of happiness. I have created a situation for the... This is going to add one pylon to the fence. That's not so bad. Okay, pick that up. Do this thing. Now we just have to get one more. And not only do we get the frontier world for the happiness, but we get the last star for tasks. Okay, I want to do this in such a way that I'm definitely going to be able to wrap the fence around and hit back here. Okay. Send that over. We're doing all right on the percentage of the fence thing right now. Oh, does this not? Okay, we'll have to do one here. That's a little bit of a shame, but it's fine. Okay, I do think we're going to be able to enclose this pretty well. All right. Are we able to run a pylon all the way out to here? No, we are not. This works, though. How much exploration am I allowed to do over here? Pretty minimal. Okay. The rift is actually very far away on this side, so we have some room to play with. Do we have... Where do we have spare water? We have spare water here. So we could generate a... We could generate fusion with a fusion plant here. It feels to me like we definitely want to pick up plasma containment. Wow. Look at that. We got that discounted from 31 to 19. I for sure want that. And then we can grab another tech right away. Megastructures doesn't feel super useful. I guess we have extra minerals up here. How exactly does this work again? 1 extra happiness. Well, you know, if we did a mega structure on this world, it would actually flip it to successful. Because it would gain a need for minerals, and then it would have 2 import routes. We could take an input from here as well. I'm gonna try it. Only on... Oh, wait. Sorry, you can only build it on planets that are successful or better already. So I cannot, in fact, use it to flip these worlds to successful. That's less exciting. I mean, this tier 3 stuff is going to be available permanently. I guess there's a question of, like, do we want to pick up gravitic tugs? Does it seem useful to do so? Because, like, any of the other stuff we're looking at, we're going to be able to pick up later if we want it. Energy-driven industry as a derived technology will just move down the tree when tier 2 is exhausted. That's another thing you could have caught happening last game. Do I have a use for slip relays? Do we think that we want slip relays here? We could do that connection, which would be useful. It wouldn't allow me to get goods from here to anywhere that needs them, because I energied away the goods needs on most of these worlds. Where else would it do anything at all? The answer is remarkably few places. Especially since we're cutting the... We're cutting ourselves out from so much of outer space. We don't have a lot of spare minerals for this anymore either. And with us not having a lot of spare minerals, nanofab becomes way less useful. I'm cutting myself pretty close together here. Ooh, we're gonna have Starbirth. So we can fix some of our problems by turning the couple of garbage planets that are inside of our empire into energy producers, which is cool. We're just never going to be able to power the entire rift wall, though, which is a shame. Yeah. So there's good stuff coming up. We just have to take something. There's a non-zero chance, I guess, that I use this. Right, up here we'll have... let me grab mega structures. We might figure out a use for it. And then, yeah, we definitely want some stuff that's further down, so we'll worry about that later. Right now, let's continue rift walling. So we are supposed to draw the wall around all of our structures, and I think this counts. So we might want to find a way to expand this way a little bit. This could be... Were this a biomass world, it would increase our tech output. Can we reasonably, like, make that happen, though? Like, do we have an actual play for making that happen? Because how would we get population to it? This world's producing as much population as it ever will. I guess the answer lies out here in a place where we can't explore until we can't send probes until we have already colonized. We can make this a people world instead, do the two-way people biomass thing. The benefit of that is that it gives us the ability to connect this world up to here too, to help bleed this off and potentially make it successful. Right now, what are we paying? We're paying like 6 for that pylon. A pylon that's near a successful world is only 3. We don't have a pylon yet that is being supported by Oh, can I make this? No, I cannot. Okay. We don't yet have a pylon that is being supported by a prosperous world, so we can't see what that cost is. I'm going to go for it. We're going to do this at the very least. Also this to make that work. And then we're going to do a little bit of probing because we have a moment here. We have some time. This side of the empire is not figured out yet. Okay. That's interesting. So that lets us run robots to here for food if we want. We could make that the way that this area works. Alternatively, we can run robots to here for food. We can make this a mineral world so that it produces energy so that it can power the wall up on this side. I like that a little bit better, I think. Let's make you a robot world, you a food world. We need to do this. Food. And then that. Then we continue building the rift wall. I mean, I should explore these. Can I get all 5 of these? I can. Okay. You know, I just realized, do we have a plan for making another mineral world prosperous? Because that is a thing I have to do at some point here. The answer is no. The answer is no, I do not. Okay. This world has 2 prosperous neighbors and 5 inputs and outputs already. So, if we do this, it has 1 prosperous neighbor. If we do this, that's a second. We'd have to use like a slip relay or something. And then it sends its minerals up to here, and that makes the 3rd neighbor. Yeah. Well, we can still buy slip relay. And I think we have to. So we can build, we unlock a type of slipway that we can build instantly, but is 60% more expensive. We will burn all of our money very quickly doing that. Replicating nanites makes colonization free and in most cases instant, which is definitely compelling. How much more colonizing are we going to do, though? I definitely see how it could be useful to turn this into a people world so that we can make that into a water world so that we can build a couple of plasma containment units and power up more of the wall. Maybe push ourselves up a scoring threshold. Yeah, that seems pretty good, actually. Okay, so I do want to do some colonization. However, I also still need slip relay. We have 5 more turns of the year left, so 5 times our science income. I want to grab slip relay before the end of the game. Void synthesizers can synthesize water. And they can synthesize water for a structure. So we could use them to generate power. If we put like a void synthesizer next to a water producer, or next to a plasma thing here, it could produce energy for this world, or for this pylon. That would power up this part of the wall. If we did the same thing over here, we have a point of water already, but we can really only use it in this direction, which is kind of awkward. I think I want void synthesizer. I think we don't take replicating nanites because I don't think we can afford the science loss. Let's start by grabbing this. I may run us hard out of money using it. That's a possibility. But I'm going to try really hard to get us to If we don't think we can get to 100%, 85 is the 4-star threshold. So this takes care of those two. That's very doable. The problem then is this. We could do... Potentially, we could do a whole plasma containment thing down here just to deal with that. Let's start building the plasma containment units. The fusion plants, rather. Okay. So run the water to here, run the energy to there. Cool. Oh, shit, right. Also, you know, it is important to try to get... Oh, no, we had a plan for that. We have a plan for our second prosperous. That's right. We're good. We're cool. Everything's fine. And actually, having the void synthesizer makes it much easier to get the prosperous planet flips anyway, because we can cheat on resources a bunch if we need to. Okay, let's do... This thing goes here. Just synthesize stuff directly from the void here. It's so good. It's so powerful. We're paying $5 a year for each of these. Plus 2 for each of these. But when these output their energy, they do generate 5. So the scheme as a whole is pretty cheap. Also, I didn't remember that they have a chip income for a second point of resources, which is pretty cool. So if we build another one over here, we can power this last bit of the wall. This part of the wall gets powered by a mass reactor. And our income's still pretty good, actually. So it's 1 month and then 2 months and then a slipway. So that makes 4 and then a slipway to the thing, which makes 5. So it's 5 months every time we want to implement that solution. It's perhaps not ideal. If we do make this a people world, if we did pursue the plan I was talking about before, where this is a people world and this is a water world, we can just run a fusion plant and save some of that cost. If we energize this, that covers this side of the fence. I think we can actually get this star. This is going to happen. We just have to make sure we're not spending more time than we have. So let's try to actually work it out here. What a pain in the ass. We have to burn a month. 2 months. Getting rid of that. Okay. Let's run this fence. Is there... We are able to get chips from this. It might make more sense to just send the chips there and flip that world to successful, though, huh? I guess it'll depend on what it's connected to. Is there a universe where we could flip this? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Sorry, I'm like very distracted. I keep... It's been a day, huh? Yeah, let's do it right here. I think this is right. Send the energy... Nope. Send the energy to there. Okay. We have to remember we also have in the plan at least a couple of slip relay builds. So that's a problem. I guess I could have avoided doing this by turning this into a star with Starbirth. But that doesn't actually save us much. And Starbirth would have been... I don't remember how many months it is. It's some savings, but it's not much. Might end up mattering. We'll see. Let's go ahead and do this thing right now. Okay. So that's a 5th star achieved. It's only our 4th prosperous world. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get the 5 stars probably off of that, actually. That's a problem. One thing at a time. One problem at a time. We're not winning the game yet, so I should probably, calm down. So, what part of the fence do we still need to power? This needs to happen. I'm confident we can make this work now. I'm feeling very confident we're going to get 100% on the fence at least. Doesn't really matter where the thing goes. It just needs to go to one of them. All right. So at the moment, every segment we have built is good. We are going to have to lay down at least one more pylon, but it could easily be 2. We can include this. We should include this, right? Oh, we actually get that in one anyway. Cool. All right. We build a fusion thingy here. Yeah, this part's already... Yeah. This is good. Build a fusion thing. Send the power to the wall. And that is a completed and fully powered rift wall. Awesome. Points. I love points. This happens and also that happens. Also, we have to send a point of population somewhere at some point here, which we'll figure out. Okay. And the void break is not going to occur until after the scenario's over at this point. Oh, wait. Also, that's right. This is a 28-year run. So we do still have... We have more time than I was thinking. I forgot about that. I forgot about that when I was doing the calculations on how much total science we were going to get. That's... okay. So, here's that slip space overload that I was talking about. It worsens by 10% for each slipways you add from this point. Yeah, it's getting expensive to build them. All right. What's up now? What do we care about now? We got the wall finished. We have secured 14 successful planets. We need to get to 25 if we want to get all these stars. So we do need to flip these planets over. I mean, it's easy enough to do that. And that's a mission win. No matter what happens now, we're solid. I think I definitely do want to build this into this thing. Send the chips over there. That's another success. We have a mineral that we could use to produce more chips via micro factory. What do we do from here? I should also note, we have the ability to unlock infraspace relays, which function the same as slip relays, except that slipways that go to or from an infraspace relay can cross normal slipways. So we do at this point have the ability to cheat resources around. Like, we could build a relay that would allow us to bounce biomass from here to there, which obviously has some pretty serious implications. In fact, it wouldn't quite, it would be the 5th input or output for this world, so it wouldn't quite flip a world to prosperous by itself, but it's definitely interesting. Also, we have void synthesizers. It's a thing worth remembering. So yeah, let's just flip worlds over, right? Void synthesizers can produce... Okay, they can't produce people. I was pretty sure that was the case, but I thought it was worth looking at. When we use microforges to produce chips, we'll probably undo this. Okay, they only produce 1 chip by default. I was thinking about using this to produce more chips to feed, to get energy out of these worlds. Oh, we can go ahead and place the Bakar Frontier world. I guess we may as well, because we already know what world it's going to be. But you know what? Also, we don't know that it will actually be meaningful because this is not an unbounded scoring run. So out of curiosity, well, I can't even put it on that world. That's the world that's furthest from the center, I think, but it's not successful yet. We'll get it there. Because we can do this thing any number of times, right? So we still have some opportunities to do some shenanigans for sure. All right, where do we need more help? We have a spare point of water here, which is really interesting. That we could use to produce energy. This world just needs one more successful neighbor. Did I end up taking megastructures? I did. With megastructures, we can add a mineral need to a world at our leisure, and that can help us with this as well. Well, sorry, not at our leisure, to worlds that are at least established, right? Or at least successful. So that does complicate things somewhat. Can I run this? Okay. Do I want to run this? Because this would give this world a third neighbor. Or a second successful neighbor. We still need to get biomass to it, but that seems like a conquerable problem in a bunch of different ways, as we were talking about earlier. The megastructures end up being really awkward here, actually. They're almost useful in so many different places. So this world needs one successful neighbor, and it needs to get rid of its last point of robots. I think that we want infraspace mastery really very badly. I think that it will help a lot. Okay. We could set up a fusion plant over here to take this water and this chip. If we use it to send energy back to this world, that'll make this world successful, which will cause it to produce an additional water, which we could use to flip this world if we manage to get more minerals off of it, that is. Well, once this world's flipped to successful, though, we can make this world we can build megastructures, and that'll eat a point of minerals. I actually really like that plan. Let's start doing that. Where does the other point of energy go? It goes down here. This world then needs to pay out its biomass, though, before it can flip to produce additional water. Getting these worlds to produce additional water, obviously, is extremely high value. And we have ways of generating more biomass very easily. We don't have a lot of ways of generating a need for biomass, which does complicate things. But let's start this. So I just need to figure out where sending energy up to that world doesn't do anything. Yeah, I'm going to put this right here. Okay. Water and chip. Energy goes back here. We do this. And then now that this world has... Oh, megastructures can only be built on people worlds. Well, we can make this people world eat the minerals from these worlds. And that will still flip this world to successful, which is still high value. We have this other point of energy. It also made that world prosperous, which is critically important. So we could send the energy down here. Aknos could become a star if we wanted it to. But the core problem we're still having is that this world can't flip unless we do something with its biomass. We'll just make a lab and empty lab the biomass just to get it to flip over. Once we've done that, it produces an extra point of water in addition to being an extra scoring planet in two different ways, which is Very significant. Okay, yeah, that's worth it. So let's connect this here. We send the energy. We create a garbage lab. Send the biomass to. Undo. Sorry. Let's send the water here. I definitely don't want the second point of water to go back to the fusion plant because it's already maxed out. That's 0 value. Okay, so now we send this extra water to there. This world can become successful if somebody does something like, say, builds a microfactory to consume its minerals. Is that faster? That's 2 months. Building a garbage lab is the same cost. Here's a question. Can I position this? No, I cannot. I cannot put this in a place where it can feed that fusion plant. I should have thought further ahead about this. Shoot. Is there a place where this can sit? Nope. I was trying to see if we could do the thing from here, but no, neither one of those works. That's a real shame. However, it's still definitely worth setting up some moves here because we can make this world prosperous very easily. Yeah. Okay. Let's set up a microforge. Wait. Let's set the microforge against the fence like this. Okay. Oh, it doesn't have a goal yet. Do we care what it does? Yes, I want it to. I actually do want it to produce chips. Okay, so another successful world, another prosperous world. If we then connect this here, I guess connecting this here doesn't do very much except it doesn't really do anything. Okay, then we do this. Right. Trying to make sure I'm doing this in the right way. Because we want the chips from there. Yeah, this should work. Okay. And then we void synthesize a water, send in the chip, use this as the water for this planet, and then we build megastructures here. We can get this world to 5 and 2. I guess we didn't need this world to be any better. Like the megastructures here, I think don't actually do anything because we can't quite get this world a third prosperous neighbor. There's no way for these two worlds to communicate goods between each other. So this point of energy actually can't benefit us at all. Which means, actually, hold on. I'm going to undo a whole bunch of that scheme. It is worth building a void synthesizer over here to provide the water to this world. But that's the only part of that matters. In theory, we could build this fusion plant, but we can't use it to flip anything, so it doesn't really. We should also use a void synthesizer to generate a biomass for this world. Well, hold on. We have planets that can put out biomass already. I am wondering if maybe it is a better play to hold off on spending... Because, like, we want to be establishing connections between planets as much as possible. So, you know, once we have infraspace mastery, things are going to be a little bit different. Pardon me. But over here, we don't want to generate a point of water for this world, right? That would be a bummer to do. Because we want to use any water that we already have to produce fusion. So that makes sense. That flips a world to successful. That's very good. Pick up infraspace mastery. We still have access to energy-driven industry if we decide that we want it. And now that we have infraspace mastery, we got to try to push the rest of these goals up. So, getting 3 more planets to prosperous and 3 more planets to successful is incidentally going to accomplish this. We don't even have to think about the happiness level. The Bakar frontier homeworld, I think, ends up being useless. That's totally fine. This world needs an export if it's ever going to have a chance of flipping. So let's do our first one of these. Now these are going to get real expensive. Okay. Prosperous world immediately. We also know that we want to do this. We want to move biomass from that world in the middle over to here. So now this world needs 1 more import or export, which we could obviously do from here. And that would give this world a 3rd successful neighbor. So I think we just run another one of these straight across here. Now this world needs to output or import 1 more time. Making it a mega structure does not help with that. It could. It could. We could connect it to here and mega structure it. And should, right? That just seems good. This can also happen. We can just run that. I guess if we do this, then this route has to be an infraspace route, which means we have to use a relay, which adds a ton of time. But also, you know, it's getting us where we're going pretty fast. Actually, we maxed out. Okay, we only need to flip 2 more worlds to successful in order to max our score here. So let's do that. Let's figure out the right way to do that. Who still needs a thing that could potentially be provided? You are going to flip to successful off of a single void synthesizer. And you could use some goods or some energy, which we can produce pretty easily. Is there a place where it's going to be even less effort than that? No, not really. If we got a point of population to here, it would work. We don't actually have a... Oh, no, we totally have a super easy way of doing that. Bam. Okay. That's 25 score. We still have time left, but, like, we're done. Just go ahead and call it there. The rift wall is now complete, the final monument to the power of the Bakar. For now, it will keep their problems out, but it will also lock the Bakar within. And, like, in a very permanent way, right? This is all of reality, if nothing else is done to combat the rift. So, I guess their only hope is that some other faction has the industriousness and the basic concern for others to actually try to solve the problem. It's all, you know, the thing is, it's all just feeling a little tiny bit resonant. Anyway, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Space Dwarves, you know? When you come back next time, we're going to be taking on whatever the next faction was in that sort of clockwise travel around the middle node. I've already forgotten, but this has heartened me. I think we can get there. So come back next time for another rousing 25-star performance, and we'll see you then.